Most people plant flowers at the allotment to make it look nice. That is a fine reason, but the right flowers, planted the right way, will actually increase your vegetable yields. Bees, hoverflies, and butterflies do the work your crops depend on. By the end of this, you will know exactly which flowers to plant, where to put them, and how to keep pollinators coming back all season long. Here is the problem. Many fruits and vegetables cannot produce a crop without pollinators. Courgettes, squash, tomatoes, strawberries, peas, all of them need insects to set fruit. Plants cannot move to find a mate, so they rely on insects to carry pollen from flower to flower. Without that, your yields drop. And pollinator populations are genuinely struggling right now. Habitat loss, pesticide use, and agricultural change have hit them hard. Your allotment can be part of the solution, and your harvest will benefit directly. Not all flowers work equally well. Modern breeding has given us big, blousy double blooms that look stunning, but offer almost nothing to insects. Too many petals block access to pollen entirely. Pollinators need simple, single flowers with clearly visible anthers. That is where they can actually feed. So when you are choosing what to plant, single blooms beat doubles every time. Here are the flowers that genuinely deliver. Calendula is reliable, cheerful, and easy from seed. Poached eggplant self-seeds freely and draws in hoverflies. Nasturtiums do double duty. They attract butterflies away from you, and their flowers are edible. Alyssum has a sweet scent that pulls in hoverflies specifically, and hoverfly larvae eat aphids. That is a direct win for your veg. Marigolds, borage, phacelia, California poppies, and zinnia are all strong choices. Phacelia also doubles as a green manure, so it earns its space twice over. Do not overlook herbs. Chives, oregano, parsley, rosemary, and lavender in flower are magnets for bees. And if you let a few vegetables bolt, onions, leeks, carrots, globe artichokes, the flowers are genuinely excellent for pollinators. Letting one or two go to flower is not a failure, it is a strategy. Different insects have different mouths. Tubular flowers like foxgloves and penstemons suit long-tongued bumblebees. Flat, open, umbel-shaped flowers, like those on carrots, parsley, and yarrow, are exactly what hoverflies need. Purple flowers are especially effective for bees. Bees see the purple end of the color spectrum more easily than we do. Lavender, phacelia, and chives all hit that mark well. Variety of shape and color is not just for aesthetics. It is how you attract the widest range of pollinators. More species visiting your patch means more reliable pollination across all your crops. One burst of flowers in June is not enough. Pollinators need food from early spring right through to late autumn. Plan your planting to cover the full season. Spring bulbs, rosemary, and primroses provide early food before much else is flowering. Your summer annuals, calendula, nasturtiums, borage, carry the mid-season. For late color, sedum is excellent, and ivy in flower is genuinely underrated for autumn pollinators. Gap spot as you go. If a section of your patch finishes flowering, fill it with something that is still going. Deadhead regularly to extend the season on each plant. Removing spent blooms tells the plant to keep producing. More flowers means more food for longer. Do not dot individual plants around the allotment and hope for the best. Pollinators forage efficiently. They move from one flower to the next of the same species. Planting in clusters of 3 to 5 makes it much easier for them to feed without wasting energy flying around searching. Think rivers or blocks of the same flower rather than a scattered mix. Tuck flowers into the gaps between your crops. Edge a bed with alyssum. Run a line of calendula alongside your let borage sprawl at the end of a row. You do not need a separate flower bed. Mixing flowers and vegetables in the same space increases insect life across the whole patch. Leave a patch of grass unmown if you can. Dandelions, clover, daisies, and violets are excellent pollinator plants, and they will appear on their own given the chance. A pile of leaves in a quiet corner gives bumblebees somewhere to nest and overwinter insects somewhere to shelter. If you want to support solitary bees specifically, install a bee hotel about a meter off the ground where it catches the morning sun. Solitary bees can be up to 4 times more effective at pollinating than honeybees. They also need access to moist mud to seal their egg chambers, so a small damp patch nearby is genuinely useful. And do not write off wasps. They are effective pollinators and they eat aphids. If they are visiting your patch, let them get on with it. Plant simple, single-flowered varieties in blocks rather than scattered individuals. Aim to cover early spring right through to late autumn with something in flower. Mix flowers directly into your veg beds, deadhead regularly, and let a few herbs or vegetables bolt. Those steps together will bring consistent pollinator activity to your crops all season. So, over to you. Which one flower has made the biggest difference to the amount of insect life you actually see on your patch? Or is there one you have always meant to try but never quite got round to planting? Tell us in the comments. That is one more method you can actually use. Subscribe to Grow a Lot Studio and I will keep showing you exactly how it is done.